Cybersecurity, it's important for a lot of large corporations, and it's important for our U.S. government to protect our secrets. And as we hear more problems with things getting hacked, like the Pentagon and so on and so forth, it is a very important issue that they're dealing with in Washington. Stephen Graham is the North American Senior Director of the EC Council, and that is the International Council of E-Commerce Consultants. We want to welcome him to the program. He's joining us via Skype from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Mr. Graham, thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Tell me about what the new plan for cybersecurity will entail.
Well, there's quite a few points there. Certainly in the recent release of DoD's plan for operating in cyberspace, they've released some of the unclassified elements. Primarily, probably the most poignant statement in there is identifying that we have a problem, and the next identifying how to fix it. So they've released 5 of their key elements that include, overall nations cooperation, preparing our cyber workforce, certainly identifying the scope of the networks that they operate. You can see some poignant statements in their release stating they've got over 15,000 networks, 7 million computing devices just managed by DoD, and the fact is there are a significant number of vulnerabilities. Yeah. So it's sort of changing the way that DoD has to operate in order to keep up with the speed of cyberspace. Yeah,
Department of Defense suffering a huge hacking here recently with what was said to be, at least it was reported, that secrets were given out via the Pentagon. I mean, that's some scary stuff when you consider what just happened with Osama bin Laden and us getting a bunch of secrets in his underground lair.
Right.
Wouldn't it be just frightening if some of that stuff were just handed right back out again because we got hacked?
Oh, absolutely. And as you read through some of the DoD documents, one of the really interesting statements there certainly holds true across most of the cyberspace community.
Is the fact that very small tools, very small applications that aren't very sophisticated can pose a very large threat. So if you look at the history of some of the attacks we've suffered in the last 5 to 10 years, it was usually a single application that was pulling information. It wasn't a big organized crime network or something huge like we all think the threat is. It's usually something very simple, very small that was just put in a high-risk place.
Just real quickly, I'm trying to kind of get information for people so that they know that their secrets are safe here in the United States. How does our ability to secure things in the cyber world compare with that of other nations? Because every time this happens, we hear the word come up of China, that they may be behind something. They hold a lot of our debt. That would be problematic if they also held our secrets.
Right. Well, there's different motivations when you look at different governments. I mean, there's obviously a difference between democracy and communism and certain
motivations that go behind those things. As far as our ability to secure it, the bigger challenge we have is our ability to keep up just simply with population growth. If you look at a simple compare and contrast U.S. and China, for every cyber professional we can develop, China can develop 4 or 5. At the same time. If you look at birth rates, their population is growing faster, and that leads to a faster innovation in the end.
All right. Stephen Graham joining us this morning. He is the North American Senior Director of the EC Council. That's the International Council of E-Commerce Consultants. We appreciate his perspective on U.S. cybersecurity and a new plan to make it tougher. We're all watching this very closely in America because so much is on the computer. Our entire financial existence is on our computer system in America. It's a very scary thought that somebody could access so much information about us. Stephen, as the news warrants, we'll have you back. Thank you so much.